Hello, my dear students. I know, your exams are just around the corner. But please don't you worry, beta. You are going to do wonderfully. To help you with your English revision, let's just quickly go through one of the most beautiful chapters in your book, the story of Bholi.
But before we start, let me ask you something. What do you think gives a person real, true courage? Is it being strong or having lots of money? Just keep that question in your mind, because Boli's story, it gives us a very, very powerful answer. Let's find out. All right, so who is this story all about? Well, our main character's real name, her lovely name, was Suleika. But since she was a little girl, everyone just called her Boli. So why Boli? Why the simpleton? It's actually a very sad reason. You see, when she was just a tiny baby, only 10 months old, she fell from her cot and really hurt her head. That accident, it damaged a part of her brain, and because of that, she remained what everyone called a backward child. And sadly, her troubles just kept piling on. When she was 2, she got smallpox, which left ugly marks all over her body. She didn't even start speaking until she was 5. And when she finally did, she had a terrible stammer. And you know how other children can be? They would make fun of her, mimic her. So all of this made poor Boli very shy and quiet, and her father, Ramlal, was always worried sick about her, because as he used to say, she had neither good looks nor intelligence. But then, just when everything seemed so bleak, something happened that would change her life completely. A primary school for girls opened up in their village. A very important government official, the Tehsildar Sahib, came for the opening, and he told Ramlal, "You are a government man. You must set an example. Send your daughters to school." Now, pay attention to this part. Why did they decide to send Boli and not her other sisters? Well, her father only agreed because he was too scared to say no to the Tehsildar. But her mother's reason, it was so harsh. She said that since Boli had no chance of getting married, they might as well send her to school. Let the teachers worry about her, she said. See, they weren't sending her because they loved her, but because she was a burden to them. Poor Boli was absolutely terrified. She'd never been anywhere, and she thought maybe they were going to sell her, just like they sold their old cow. But then, for the very first time in her life, someone gave her a clean dress to wear. Someone washed and oiled her messy hair. These small, simple acts of kindness made her feel a little bit of hope, just a tiny feeling that maybe, just maybe, this new place would be better than her home. And at school, she met the person who would change everything for her, her teacher. When Boli got scared and started to stammer, her teacher didn't laugh like everyone else. No, her voice was so soft, so soothing. With so much love and affection, she told Boli these magical words. And for the first time ever, Boli felt like somebody actually believed in her. And that was just day 1. The teacher gave her a book full of pictures and made a promise that one day Boli would be so educated that no one would ever dare to laugh at her again. And as the years went by, Boli's heart started to fill up with a new hope. Education was like a key, you see, unlocking a whole new life for her. Okay, so let's fast forward a few years. The village has grown, and Boli is a young woman now. And then, one day, a marriage proposal arrives. And let me tell you, this was going to be the biggest test of her newfound confidence. So who was this groom? A man named Bishambhar Nath. Well, he was old, almost her father's age. He had a limp, and he was a widower who already had grown-up children. But he was rich, and for her parents, who still thought of Boli as a dumb cow, that was enough. They accepted the proposal right away, without even asking her. The wedding day came, full of pomp and show, but just as Bishambhar was about to put the garland on Boli, someone pulled back her veil. And when he saw her pockmarked face, his true, greedy nature came right out. He stopped everything and demanded a dowry of 5,000 rupees. 5,000! That was an absolute fortune in those days. Her poor father was completely shattered. He took his turban, his honor, his izzat, and placed it at Bishambhar's feet, begging him. But that greedy man would not listen. He wanted the full 5,000, or he would just walk away. So finally, with tears streaming down his face, Ramlal had to give him the money. So it looked like Bishambhar, the villain, had won. He was smiling, feeling so proud of himself, and he raised the garland again to place it around Boli's neck. But this is the moment where the entire story turns. Bully wasn't looking down in shame. Oh no. She looked straight into his eyes with no fear at all. And before he could do anything, her hand shot out like a streak of lightning, and she threw that garland right into the sacred wedding fire. And then she spoke. Her voice was strong, clear, and loud, without even the slightest stammer. "Pitaji," she said, "take back your money. I am not going to marry this man." Everyone was just stunned. The girl they all called a simpleton, the girl they thought was a dumb cow, had finally found her voice. Her father started shouting, "You are disgracing our family's Izzat." But she replied that it was for the sake of that very same respect, that very same Izzat, that she refused to marry such a mean, greedy, and cowardly man. She wasn't just some dumb animal to be handed over to anyone. She was standing up for her own self-respect. And in that one moment, when she spoke up for herself with so much courage and dignity, she was no longer Boli, the simpleton. In that moment, she truly became Suleka. Just look at this incredible transformation. Her education, her teacher's kindness. It turned a girl who was seen as a simpleton into a confident, amazing woman. Her teacher was watching all this, and her heart must have been filled with pride, like an artist who has just finished their greatest masterpiece. And Suleka, she was her masterpiece. Her father was so worried. What will you do now? Who will ever marry you? But Suleka wasn't worried one bit. She calmly told her father not to worry. She promised she would take care of him and her mother in their old age. And she would become a teacher in the very same school that gave her this new life. This story teaches us so many important lessons. It's such a powerful statement against the evil of dowry. But more than anything, it shows us the true power of education. It reminds us of a very important mission we have in our country today. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Save the girl child and educate the girl child. Because an educated girl has the strength to change her own world and the world around her. So let's go back to that first question I asked you. What gives a person courage? For Bully, the answer was education and self-respect. Now I want you to think for a minute. What is it that gives you courage? What helps you find your voice? Think about it. All the very best for your exams, my dear students. You are going to be fantastic.